Good afternoon, everyone. I am Daniel Martinez, and I am partner co-founder of Go to Digital. And I'm going to explain you a solution so that any country in the world can reduce the current loss of drinking water that is lost in the transport from the point where the water is produced to that reaches the homes of citizens, as well as reducing the management costs so that the citizens do not find it increasingly difficult and cost to consume the water resource. So bear in mind how much drinking water is lost in the world. The drinking water transport networks in all the countries of the world lose more than 40% of the water that they transport due to the leaks, the flow, the breaks, and reading errors in the meters. So this is a tremendous problem for the governments. So we are fully convinced that the AI can help us with these serious problems that we all have. And at Go to Digital, we have opted to use a totally disruptive and creative strategy using simulation and deep reinforcement learning discipline to solve this challenge. Today, the deep reinforcement learning has made advances in many fields, such as the health, the medical research, investigations, and energy efficiency. And we have companies that everybody knows, like Google or DeepMind, with really improvements in lung cancer, on prostate cancer, in issues like energy efficiency in data centers, and in other medical researches. So for us, the solution from Boorie platform is to offer a superbot trained in simulators with deep reinforcement learning. So the striking point with this discipline is that with the solution is that we have, without having data or a previous experience on a drinking water network, we are able to solve the challenges of water transport, gaining experience through computing, and creating new strategies with the superbots better than the human beings that are actually taking to solving the serious problems that we have in the water transport. The superbot in our Boorie platform are trained for operations and disasters management. So the solution with Boorie based on superbots, it's like, it does not seem fair for us that access to a technology that protects common and universal goods such as is the water can only be consumed by those who have the resources to generate it. Because the water is it's not a commodity, the water is essential for life. So we believe that it's more fair to make available to the governments and their citizens a technology that democratizes its use and provides solutions to all to reduce the cost and the operational cost. So we are creating autonomous and digital operators that we call superbots, which democratize the advanced knowledge in the management of operations and in disasters of drinking water networks, so that any country will want that had access and can share that global knowledge generated by Boorie through the neural network. So basically, the challenge that we want to solve are pretty straightforward. We want to reduce the non-revenue water index that actually is an average of the 40% in the world. We have a moral imperative, we know, and we think that today to reduce that rate, reducing the leaks with the proper detection and location. We want to reduce the leaks, optimizing the pressure based on demand and service quality. We need to manage the leaks, prioritizing actions based on the potential impact. And we need to reduce the extraction of the raw water by labeling the production with the actual and real demand. We need to reduce the energy cost at the footprint caused by the operations. And we want to reduce the chemical consumption in the water quality. This is a real challenging objective that we want to solve with Boorie. From a technical perspective and from a scalability point of view, Boorie is a solution that integrates and it's implemented with the current SCADA systems of our customers.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to stop you here. It's time's up. So yeah. I think you might have more chance to elaborate more in the Q&A. Yeah. I'm sure, I mean, lots of relevant questions would come and you can explain this during that. So do we have any questions coming from our experts? Okay. I see Alex as well. Okay. And Bruce. So maybe Alex, would you like to go ahead first, and then Bruce would follow right away?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I did see Bruce's image come on earlier, but that is fine. Thank you very much, Daniel, for calling and presenting this huge solution to us.
Thank you.
I have heard a lot about, you know, what's been the reason why we will fight by the 2050s. It's a huge incoming problem. But even in your own words, if you can maybe paint why it's immediate, why we have to solve that problem now, and then tell me a bit about, you know, who your potential customers are, who are the biggest ones.
Yeah, actually, the big potential in terms of business, obviously, is the water industry. The point here and the debate is a moral debate. It's who has to have the power, the solution, and the technical resources to solve a problem that concerns to everybody, and especially to the government and to the citizens. So that's the point that we have in that debate of thinking, is an internal thinking about why do we try to democratize that technology that could be able for all the countries, for all the governments, with an intelligence that will be clever, even better, with all the data of the different water networks, and try to extend that capabilities and that benefits to all the governments, and not to keep that technology as a private resource in the hands of the private water industries. So, as this is a real big problem all over the world, we think that the measures that must be taken concerns to the governments, and not only to the private industry. And especially not only in the first world, and there are many different countries that don't have the technology, the resources, of the knowledge to apply the benefits and the potential of applying a platform such as Boorie with artificial intelligence. We have the resources now, so everybody can take benefit of it.
Hi, Daniel. I was wondering, what's the biggest barrier you have to get people to use your technology and to get the customers onboarded with this solution?
Well, the main constraint, the main problem that we have is that it's very difficult to find actually early followers, especially in the water industry. When we are talking about deep reinforcement learning discipline, it's a very different perspective from speaking from another disciplines that everybody is actually using. It takes time. It's difficult to demonstrate at the beginning the benefits because it's a really close environment in the operational field with water engineers. And in our case, the best solution and the best way has been to perform proof of concepts and initial tests with some models with specific and small water networks to demonstrate to the customer that this is a reality, that this is something that can be applied to the utility sector, in this case to the water. And yes, when they test the benefits and see the percentage of cost reduction on energy efficiency, on how we are able to detect leaks, it's pretty much easy. But we need to start to think that utility sector are very old, and it requires a really strong digitalization process, and it takes time. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel. Marta, you have a question or comment? Please go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, maybe I wasn't following at the beginning. I don't know if you mentioned when have you started your venture, and how many people do you have in your team, and something about your customers? How big is your customer base?
Yeah, thank you, Marta, because that was the end of my presentation. Actually, we are 18 people. We are really not much people with 3 co-founders. Our people, it's in Barcelona, but also in Medellin, Colombia. It's performed by data scientists and people from different technologies. We started 3 years ago, but we start our internal research and development process with the deep reinforced learning 1.5 years with our internal tests in our laboratory. And after that, we opened the door and start to speak with customers in the water industry, especially here in Spain and France with Sweat Group and with its subsidiaries in Latin countries. When we start to perform now in real production environments, proof of concepts to demonstrate the capability and the advantages of using this technology based on deep reinforced learning with the simulators, that it's what we actually are listening every places when we talk about digital twin.